fade in from black. So you all fade in from black, and everybody's seated at the. Um, sorry, everybody's seated at the table.
Uh,
Commander Sakel, Captain Jenner, and then the three of you are all there.
I wanna add something. Fargonaut in the chat mentioned why not a Haitian Cation.
Yeah, that's wow. That would be good.
Uh, that would be quite fun. No wait, that's Jamaican.
Yeah.
I don't have the other accent.
No, that would be fun.
Sounds like a boxer.
The Haitian Cation. Yeah.
The Haitian Cation. Oh, we got to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Uh,
We could try. Oh, you guys lose a momentum for the scene change. Just be happy I haven't gained threat yet. Okay, so you guys are all talking about what you want to do. Commander Sakel looks to you, Lieutenant McCott. Lieutenant, what is, now that I've heard the request and have been back briefed, what is your assessment? What do you think we should do?
I think we should. I think we should go out and investigate this situation. It's risky, but I mean, I'd like to know just what this lady's doing on our station. It's not exactly clear to me.
You're referring to the Orion, right?
Yeah. Well, also,
Mm.
experiments.
So my apologies. Uh, the Orion vessel, shortly after the transmission, you found out in the conference, shortly after the transporter beam left, the ship was cleared to um, disembark, and is in the last 30 minutes has had a 30-minute jump start.
What are we doing in here, though? Shouldn't we be pursuing them?
Well, you don't have anything to pursue per se.
They stole part of the commander's research project,
The captains, but
the captain's research
mhm.
project. That seems like an adequate reason to pursue them, and
Well, this is TNG, and we have meetings.
Especially if we think that there could be other life forms involved that we can't necessarily communicate with.
In,
We don't want to cause harm to a possible second first contact.
indeed, Lieutenant. So you believe that Captain Jenner's, no offense, ma'am, claim is valid?
Um, I don't feel that she has any reason to lie about that. Uh, I think that she has the research to back up what she's saying so far. So I definitely think it's worth investigating.
Okay. So if we were to send out the Nomad, Lieutenant McCott, would you be in charge of this mission?
Absolutely, sir.
All right. Is there anyone else other than present company that you would, any more of the senior staff you'd like to bring along?
Hmm. I'd like to bring on Lieutenant Editu and a Lieutenant Kester Grax. They'll be extremely useful on this mission.
Everybody is now looking at you funny for referring to them as if they're not there. To include to include Captain Jenner.
Oh, yeah, right, and of course Captain Jenner.
All right, Lieutenant McCott. That sounds logical. Please go ahead unless you have anything further, any further information to provide. Please disembark as soon as possible, and let's go hunt this proverbial breadcrumb.
Thank you, Commander. May I also add that your ears are especially pointy today.
Indeed, Lieutenant McCott.
Something I noticed.
Yes.
Anyway, mission time. I can't do it without you guys breaking character.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. So everybody kind of gets up curtly and heads for the door and all that. Do you guys want to just cut straight to being on the ship and on your way?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. Boom. So we'll put you guys. Boom. Boom. No, not that button. That button. I'm gonna move you guys to the bridge. Oh dear. Okay. Had a lot from our last encounter that I needed to clear out. Boop, boop. And you're on the bridge of the Nomad.
Get on the bridge.
So the captain is definitely taking a kind of a side role, as it's not her ship. Lieutenant McCott, you're the commanding officer. Yeah, where else would you guys do you guys all want to stay on the bridge? Do you want to go to different stations on the ship?
I want to stay on the bridge.
Okay. And
Yeah, sounds like a good place to be at the moment.
okay. All right. So you guys have gone along normal mission operations, everything, and you actually are able, after triangulating everything, you're actually able to reach the coordinates that. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. So you're able to get back to Arcturus 5 and where Breadcrumb 1 does appear to be had been located. If you want to triangulate where potentially Breadcrumb 2 is, your science station is going to do a reason plus science with a difficulty of 1. And you will have the ship assist. I actually have to pull up the ship. Okay, so who is at the... Oh. Touche. So, my apologies. Rewind. Cut back. You guys are in the ship. You want to pursue the Orion. Scan shows the general direction in which they're headed. Do you want to follow?
I say yes.
Yes.
We shall.
All right. So you guys following along. You're easily an hour. Well, you're about an hour behind them. As you're going along, you get to a certain point, and you kind of lose their ion trail has dissipated far enough that you could no longer the ship can no longer track.
May I go out of character for a second?
Mm-hmm.
I love this bridge. I really
Yeah?
do. Yeah.
I can't remember what it's from.
I wish this bridge was a
Okay.
thing on one of the shows.
Yeah, it's a little more ops conducive, I think.
Yeah, functional.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys are kind of out in the middle. One thing you do notice from the navigation, you're not that far from the coordinates where Breadcrumb 1 was originally located.
Lieutenant, are you reading anything?
Which lieutenant?
Uh,
You got
you
a
know what?
couple.
Both of you. First Editute, then Grax.
I don't know. Am I reading anything?
What do you, other than the ion trail is dissipated? I mean, you note that you are close to where the original breadcrumb one was located.
Can I sense anything?
You trying like telepathically?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing out of the norm. I mean, you're sensing all the crew, excited that they're out in the ship. Um, Captain Jenner is, you do sense angst, a little bit of angst in her.
Okay. So we are where the first breadcrumb was found.
Very close to it.
And do we have any indication of where the second one would be in regards to where we're at?
So if you worked it into the sensors, you could actually, kind of triangulate. Now that you're there, you can kind of triangulate where breadcrumb 2 might have been.
Lieutenant McCott, I think we should try to triangulate where breadcrumb 2 might have been.
Roger that. Science
Okay.
team. Go.
Okay, so this will be a reason plus science task with a difficulty of 1 to locate the second, and you'll have the ship's sensors and science working for you as well with the assist.
All right. Who's rolling for this?
That's a great. Actually, so Grax, I think you have the highest science.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. You're in charge of the science team, Grax. Make me proud.
Okay. So what exactly do you need me to do, Jen?
So, in your character sheet, your attributes and such,
Mm-hmm.
you want to highlight reason
Okay, reason and then science.
and science,
Okay.
and then off on the side over to the roller. Task roll should be on 2. Complication range
Okay.
should be on 1. What are your focuses?
Empathy, counseling, cultural studies, negotiation, observation, and temporal physics.
If you can make an argument for one of those applying to this. If not, I kind of like I'm. Only thing I can come up with is reaching.
Yeah, I'm good with doing it without a focus.
Okay.
Can I
So
assist
just-
with my computer expertise talent?
What's the computer expertise, real quick?
Whenever you attempt a task that involves programming or study of a computer system, you may add a bonus D20 to your pool.
Actually, I have
That
that
would be-
talent as well. I did not realize.
Oh, okay.
So I do have that talent.
Then use it.
Yeah,
Because-
I would say that is an applicable use for it.
So for that, would it just be yes under focus is used?
So if you're using a talent, you're actually just
Talented.
adding you're now bumping your task roll up to 3 dice.
To 3. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Okay, so time to roll. Ooh.
Okay, and then the assist roll from the ship, because you're getting the ship's science sensors and science. I'll go ahead and roll it for you.
Okay.
And I don't know why that had a applicable focus. Wait. Oh, does it always take that? It does. So you get 2. So you have. I'm gonna add 2 momentum. It was difficulty 1 task. And you're able to locate it.
Okay.
Um, hmm. So you're able to locate the exact. You're able to pinpoint the location. One of the things you can do with momentum is spend it to gain more information from the GM, but you have to ask a specific question.
Okay.
So if you have something in mind, I'm not saying that it necessarily would be the best here or be the worst. Just saying that you do have that available to you. Anytime you roll a task, if you want to gain more information, you can use a momentum to do it.
Okay.
But it does
Thank
have
Um,
you.
to be a specific question.
Explaining to the newbie. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it.
I have a suggestion for a question.
Okay.
Um, the last known direction that the Orions were going in, does it correspond to the location of Breadcrumb 2?
Can I check that?
Okay, say that again.
The last known location or direction that the Orions were traveling,
Uh huh.
does it correspond to the location of Breadcrumb 2?
Yes, it does.
So we should be prepared to encounter Orions if we go to Breadcrumb 2.
This is true, and it could offer up some competition that we don't want. I still think that our best option would be to follow the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing at this time.
Okay. Uh, Lieutenant Ida two. One of your, uh, one of your lieutenants pipes up and says, "Sir, with knowing where Breadcrumb 2 is, and having Breadcrumb 1, knowing where Breadcrumb 1 was, and locking onto that frequency, we may actually be able to pinpoint. We may actually be able to communicate and ride on their communications wave and determine how far out these breadcrumbs go, and even if there is a central location that they lead to. Just a theory, sir."
So, in other words, do you think you can triangulate the position of the signal source from
I
here by using? I'm not sure I understand.
By using the source, we know we have a general idea of what direction it's headed. Knowing where breadcrumb 2 is at and where breadcrumb 1 is, we can postulate breadcrumb three's location, and from there should be able to very easily triangulate where that is.
So you're under the assumption that these breadcrumbs are all in a straight line.
More or less, sir, yes. That they are all interconnected. This would
Okay.
also potentially, if the Orion ship is off of or is on the same course, we may be able to beat them to the punch, to the finish line, as it were.
That would be a good course of action. But how likely is it that we can really find breadcrumb 3 without going to breadcrumb 2? What would we need to do?
Hmm.
Well, we need definitive proof that breadcrumb 2 is where we think it is, because as far as we know, it's still just a guess.
Okay. So I'll say this: at your current location, it would be a difficulty 4 task to determine breadcrumb 3, and throughout would be if you have 3, you get all of them. If you are to travel to breadcrumb 2 and confirm, it would be a difficulty 3 task.
I say we try it.
Which one?
The finding 3, the less encounters with the Orion right now, I think the better.
Okay, so you're saying fly to 2 to confirm.
No, I think that we should try to
Cut them off at the
triangulate
path.
for breadcrumb 3.
Okay, from where you're at presently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any opinions, Lieutenant McCott?
I do believe that that is probably the best course of action. I concur.
The something you do notice, Lieutenant Grax, is a definite, like an overwhelming joy, or the captain is pleased that this is the decision that you all have come to, and you sense the excitement that this may be her legacy.
Uh,
I'm
I'll
just
just say to
cons-
Captain Jenner, don't get too excited. We
I'm
have a
just
lot of work to do.
I'm just concerned that based on the current information that if breadcrumb 3 isn't in a straight line with 1 and 2, we're going to be going somewhere completely off the grid, off the mark. We're going to be wasting time uh pursuing something that's ultimately going to be a dead end because we made an incorrect assumption that it was a straight line when a relay could be, and that's what these satellites seem to be, right? A relay of sorts. So it would it would it would be better for us to go to 3, be certain that that's where, or go to 2, be certain that find 3 that way, because otherwise we're just taking a guess, and if we're wrong, we're gonna have to double back anyways.
But there is always the risk that the Orions could beat you there if you take the extra time.
Well, they have an hour head start. They're gonna be there first, anyways.
Well,
And
so the idea that the lieutenant brought forward is to beat them to the punt. Like if you know where the end goal is, you might be able to get there quicker than the Orions because if they're just piecemealing it, going breadcrumb to breadcrumb.
but again,
How
how
sure that we can we be that we're actually going to be finding breadcrumb 3? I think is his point, saying
Mm-hmm.
that like
Oh,
what is the
it's
likelihood that we would know?
because
yeah.
a signal being relayed doesn't necessarily have to follow a straight line. So if we're
Well,
going to assume that it's a straight line, we could be led off course big time.
this is true. So it wouldn't be a straight line. It would be, I mean, like it would. But yes, the fear is still very real.
So my suggestion is let's maximum warp to 2. Try our best to gain ground on the Orions. Hopefully, catch them before they can either tamper with 2
Mm-hmm.
or take beam 2 aboard and try to cut them off there. And then
If we sorry.
from there locate where 3 is and then go that way. That's my suggestion.
Could we confirm breadcrumb 2's location just by getting closer without being directly on its location?
To absolutely confirm it, you could. I mean, you could be close. I mean, you could be as close as you are now and absolutely confirm it.
Yeah, but didn't they get the coordinates for breadcrumb 2 from breadcrumb 1 by analyzing the circuitry? So they had to physically get hands on it.
Yep, that is true.
So if breadcrumb 2 is the same way, the only way to really know where 3 is to get there, get hands on breadcrumb 2 in order to figure out where 3 is. Otherwise, we're just going to be flying in a direction, not knowing where we're going really, hoping we're going to end up someplace that may not even be where we want to go. And if we find out that we have to turn back, the Orions are going to get a larger lead. We're going to be further back. And we may end up losing the whole thing because now we don't know where 3's at. And they might have taken breadcrumb 2 with them. And we lose our chance to find out where it's at. I think it's too risky to go after 3 now. That's my opinion. I'm
Okay.
sticking to it, and
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
Yeah, your lieutenant nods. I mean, that's some. It's very.
It's logical. The captain would agree with me if he was here.
Exactly. So what do you got? Lieutenant Makati, you're the one in charge.
It's your decision.
Let's do it.
Which part?
Which plan?
two plan. So here are the to some. Here's the deal. You can try and triangulate from where you're at right now, and in an attempt to beat the Orions to the finish line. Mm-hmm. That'll be a difficulty 4 task.
With no guarantee.
With no guarantee.
That's even where the finish line is, because we really don't have any information about where 3 is.
Right. Yeah. So
I heard that one. I didn't hear the other one.
So the other one is to physically go to breadcrumb 2 to confirm that it is actually there.
Get hands on it,
and calculate from there. That would be, and then try and calculate the same from there.
I would go with the second option.
And that would be an easier difficulty task. But you will lose time.
Time is of the essence. But we have a starship with high warp capability.
This is true. But it's not unlimited.
True. But if they don't know we're coming, do they know we're coming?
I don't... Have you... I mean... You're not cloaked by any means.
No one's made contact.
We haven't tipped our hand, though.
Can they scan us?
No, they're far enough in front that they... Like, you can't... You've lost their ion trail.
So we wouldn't be on long-range sensors on their long-range sensors?
Nope.
No, it's doubtful that they even know that we're out here.
Okay, then I say that we go and because here's the thing: if they're actively running from us, then time would be of the essence. But if they're not actively running from us, then we have a little bit of surprise on our side, so we can take a moment and determine more accurately where they are. Consider it a police stakeout.
Okay.
So you want to find where the Orion ship is?
Absolutely, ma'am. Let's head down to the second rally point and do that scan.
Okay.
At what warp would you like to go? So standard warp is warp 6.
Warp 6
for each
Max.
For each warp after that up to 9, it's 1 point of power. For each integral of 9, so 9.1, 9.2, etc., is 1 point of power. You have a total of 14.
And how
Time is of the essence.
How quickly does power return?
Power will return at the next scene, or like it starts to recuperate at each scene change, unless you conduct a task to restore power.
I'm thinking let's book it. Let's get there as quickly as possible, and then I can try to speed power up once we get there or as we get close. But I think we need to try to beat the Orions to breadcrumb too.
Okay. Is that what you want? So,
The ship does have secondary reactors.
yes. Let me look at the ship. Was that one of the type we got? Damage control, reaction control, secondary reactors. These reactions allow the ship to generate far greater quantities of energy, increase the ship's normal power capacity. Oh no, so that's the 14. Like you were originally at 9.
All the more reason that we can risk going faster.
This is true. You do have power to burn.
It's up to you, Mr. McCott.
Warp 6 is fine, gentlemen.
Okay. So you guys get all squared away. Aim the nose. And you head off in that direction at warp 6. If you'd like to do any role playing in between there and there, A and B. If not, we'll arrive at breadcrumb 2. Okay, so you arrive at breadcrumb 2. You arrive at the location, but there appears to be nothing physically there.
Okay, so can we do scans of the area?
Okay, what are you scanning for?
Just to see if I'd like to look for both an ion trail from the Orion ship to see if we can tell where they went, assuming that they came here.
Okay.
And if there's any sort of anything that shows up on sensors that might point us to what happened to the breadcrumb 2 or whether it was actually here.
Okay. So that'll be a reason plus science.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, reason plus science. Difficulty 2 task. Because you're kind of blanket scanning a little bit. Because you're kind of doing two things at once. You're trying to do two things at once. But you will get assist from the ship.
Okay. And then can I use my computer expertise talent as well?
I'll give it to you.
Okay. So how many days for the
May I
task?
assist? I can help scan for the maybe a transporter signature that.
Okay. Control and science. That was question, not statement. Is that what you're thinking as a control science task?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Well, you know me, man. You can argue.
I mean, I would obviously prefer engineering because I am an engineer, and transporters do fall under my purview.
Do you have transporters and replicators focus?
Yes, I do.
Well, then, yeah. Okay. I'll let you use engineering for that. Because you're specifically scanning for, or aiding the scan for transporter activity.
And can I apply my focus to that as well?
Yes, most certainly.
Okay.
So
I will assist that in that way.
Okay. So Ray, you're rolling 3.
Okay. So rolling 3.
Bink, biddy, bink, bink. Okay. Mike, you're rolling 1. Okay, and the ship is rolling 1 as well. The ship is useless. Maybe it's just the guy rolling it. I don't know. So you have two. You gain 2 momentum from that. So your scan does show ion trail. Heading out in the direction that that you kind of presumed was that everybody kind of presumed was the next location. Confirming though that that is in fact the way it goes. And Lieutenant Ida 2, uh, your scan for transporter activity does reveal that there was something about 3 meters wide, spherical type deal, and you do pick up traces of Orion transporter technology.
All right.
Well, if they got breadcrumb 2, they know where the third one is. So if we want to make it there, we could follow their ion trail or go based off of our original guesses.
Uh, and the that same lieutenant earlier said, "Ma'am, we actually would be able to triangulate. Should be able to triangulate all the way to the end, confirming that breadcrumb 2 was in this location. We should be able to accurately triangulate the proverbial finish line."
Well, I think skipping ahead to the end would be a lot easier than following all of these breadcrumbs.
At that moment, Captain Jenner actually takes the story. Does anybody else do that with books? Like, she's just so overjoyed that she's casual conversation. Does anybody else do that with stories? Just skip to the end and look to see what the story is. That my apologies if I'm interrupting.
Sometimes ruins the adventure.
All right. So if you want to triangulate that, that is going to be. Um, let's say control, because there's a little bit of pressure in it. Control plus science. To whoever wants to take it, but it's going to be a difficulty 3 task.
My science is 2.
My science is 5. My control is 9.
So
Do you want me to do it?
yeah, this is going to be you.
Okay, this is
What
me.
what are we doing again?
So you're using the locations of the 2 breadcrumbs, Arcturus 5, um, and all the data you've collected from all of that place to triangulate where the end of the breadcrumb
Okay.
trail is.
All right. I also want to assist using my expertise in computers.
Okay. I need further explanation.
Well, figure there's going to be a lot of computing involved, a lot of calculations. So I'm going to monitor the computers and help, finagle them into producing a accurate answer quickly.
Okay. I'll give it to you. That'll be reason plus engineering
All right.
for you to assist. Okay, and then does your computer expertise? I think it still plays here,
I think so.
right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I would say.
So,
So
so
we.
you have 3 dice. Ida 2 will have 1 die. The ship again will have 1 die, but this time it's going to use con instead of science.
And you said
And the
difficulty 3.
computers.
Should be computers.
Yep, I'm using computers and con for the ship.
Okay. Here's my roll.
Okay. Oh.
Hmm.
Oh wait, no, that's a botched deal. So on the top where it says complication range,
Mm-hmm.
is that marked at 2 or 3?
3.
Yeah, bring that back down to 1.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's
Sorry.
not a real one. So you've got 2 of you
Oops.
of the 3 needed.
Okay. So
Okay, and now for the ship.
oh,
Okay. So you guys are able to do the triangulation, but it takes longer than it should. Um, you guys, there's somebody in the process kind of said, no, 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 I need to go back and double check my math, and you're able to get to the finish line. You're able to spot the finish line, but you did lose some pretty valuable time doing it. And you're about, as the projections go, now that you know where all of the breadcrumbs are, you're about 3 breadcrumbs behind now.
but we
you
know
do,
where the ending is.
but you do know where the finish line is, and if the Orions are tracking back, um, um, shit, now I've lost my train of thought, Mike. Thanks.
Sorry.
Uh,
For so everyone knows what had just happened, I had put into the chat, our private chat room here. I had to yell at the ensign trying to organize his iTunes library while we're working. That's why the computers were didn't help us so well.
um.
Um,
So yeah,
how fast would we have to travel to basically get ahead and make it to the finish line before the
so
Orion has a chance to catch up?
so you would actually, you're gonna have to crank it. You're gonna have to go 9 point. I think max on this ship is 9.5 or 9.4. I think it's 9.4. So you'd have to crank it to 9.4 to make it there before them. Only 9.0 to make it there at the same time. But you're also estimating what their speed and how fast they're actually moving through each of the breadcrumbs and etc. And assuming they haven't been able to do the same calculation you have, not likely for an Orion sensor suite though.
I'm gonna go with maximum warp.
Okay. So
And I just realized I had my mic muted the entire time.
oh, nice. Did you
Yeah.
say anything important?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, so 9.4 from 6, 3, 7. So that'll cost you 7 power. That costs you half your power.
I think that's well worth it.
Definitely worth it.
Okay. So before you do that, you triangulate it out. You decide you're gonna go there. The ensign at the con notes back to you, Lieutenant McCott. Sir, that will actually cross into Orion territory, sir. Would you like me to proceed anyway?
We're a New Orleans class starship, Ensign. We'll be fine.
Okay. So
I forget what's before we go any further. What's the situation between the Orion and the Federation? Can a Federation starship enter Orion territory, or would that be a huge no-no on the part of Starfleet?
it has to go through. You have to go through clearance.
Oh,
Yeah, you would have to get clearance from the controller of that area.
okay. And by requesting clearance, we've probably tipped our hand.
That's an assumption you can make. Yes.
Uh,
I'm not gonna say if it's accurate or not, but
is there a way? Is there a way to get to that point that we need to go without entering territory?
nope.
Mm,
It is firmly inside Orion space.
uh, darn it.
Now you do have we do have the social conflict mechanic where you could verbally spar, go back and forth, persuade, intimidate, and those with the flight controller that's controlling the permission of the space. You could also make deals. You have those as options.
Okay.
If you don't want to try just the straight up white hat, go in there. Hey, we'd like to request, go in there and see what happens.
Hmm.
We have a diplomat negotiator with us.
Let's request permission to enter, but let's try and mitigate our exposure to this vessel. Let's find an excuse to go in there that wouldn't tip our hand. Are there any kind of anomalies in that area that we can basically use as an excuse to investigate?
Hmm.
Could we possibly create a false signal of potentially, um, basically create a false signal that we are looking for a Starfleet, um, like a lost shuttlecraft or something,
Ooh.
like a
That
false
might
signature that we were searching for.
that might be doable.
Are these coordinates anywhere near um, one of an Orion planet? Perhaps we can be going there to either conduct business or to um, shore leave.
Diplomatic conference is what you're looking for, Lieutenant.
Maybe we just want some shore leave. You know how hospitable the Orions can be.
As a Starfleet officer, I'm disappointed in you, but intrigued.
uh, Everyone
so
has interesting thoughts here and
so
there.
so as a mechanic, as a game mechanic, you can actually spend 2 momentum to create an advantage. So you could actually spend 2 momentum to create that sensor shadow.
We also have determination that we can probably
That's you.
activate.
That's for, well, yeah. Indeed, you could.
I think it would be worth the momentum spend.
Just give me a second. I'm checking out the determination stuff. I'm trying to grant the character a single bonus d20. No, surgery activity. Creates an advantage that applies. Yeah, so you could use a point of determination using the mechanic Make It So. And yeah, you burn determination. You kind of have to have, so with determination, to spend determination, you have to have a value that would apply to the scenario. So if anybody has a value that they could apply to this situation, they could most certainly use that determination to make it so, or it'll cost 2 momentum.
Hmm.
What are your talents, Grax?
Is it values or talents?
Talents.
Telepath, collaboration, testing a theory, and computer expertise. So, testing a theory, maybe?
Wait, talents?
I thought he said values.
Oh no, he did say value. Okay, sorry.
Or he said talents, but did you mean values though?
For determination,
Oh,
it
it is.
does have to be values
In value.
Oh, okay.
that are invoked.
I misunderstood.
No worries.
Um, obstacles are made to be conquered. I have that as a value.
Okay. Do you want to? You could certainly say that applies.
And I also have man on a mission.
I think both would apply if you want to use your point of determination here.
And what would I be using it for?
For make
What?
it so, you would create a.
No, I meant what is our what is our goal for using the determination?
It'll create an advantage. So you guys want to create a reason to cross the border, at least simulate a legit reason to cross the border. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, so that's what it would be going for.
All right. Well, I'll go with the man on a mission,
Okay.
and I'll burn my determination to make it so.
All right. What is the situation you're setting up?
Well, unless someone else has a better idea, I want shore leave.
Okay. Well, okay.
Does someone have a better suggestion?
Well, the false cargo or shuttle was my original idea. Uh, but shore leave is always a good time.
Well, I guess we before we decide what is there anything near the location where we're going?
There is a planet there that is, to the best of Starfleet's records, is not colonized, nor explored for that matters. This is a portion of Orion space that is not. Um,
Well, then shore leave
they've
doesn't quite.
just they've claimed it. That's about it.
Shore leave isn't going to work then.
Yeah, probably not.
And the idea of a lost shuttle, they'd probably already have a record of
Something.
something coming in. So it's if they don't have a record of something coming in and not going out, that might not work. Um,
But if we're falsifying, uh, basically tricking the sensors, if we could attempt to do that, to trick the sensors, we could maybe convince them that it was so small that they didn't notice it.
or that they didn't realize they were crossing over into Orion. How close is this area? How close is it to the border of Orion space?
Yeah,
Uh,
like, would it be relevant that there would be a shuttle out there anyway?
I would say that a shuttle could drift over not knowingly and lose engines or something.
Okay, we'll go that direction then. And we're trying to recover them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're doing.
Okay. All right. So you guys are going. You guys still use your 9.4, right?
Yes.
Warp to get there. Okay. So you're at the entry point of Orion space, and you get the hail. Starfleet vessel. What business do you have here?
Well, I guess that's me.
Hmm.
You're commander, dude. You're the one in charge.
Orion controller, we're here on. Don't look at me. I'm not saying shore leave. I'm not saying shore leave. Shore
No,
leave?
no, we're not on shore
No.
leave.
No. Sorry, diplomatic. We're here on a diplomatic conference.
No.
Nope.
We're here to recover a lost shuttle.
Yes, lost shuttle. That's what I was going with. We're here to recover a lost shuttle. Shut up.
Can I phaser him?
You can certainly try.
One of our shuttlecraft wandered out of Federation space after having an engine failure, and we're trying to locate them.
I saw no shuttle go through my sensor sweep.
It's a small vessel. They lost power. They probably would have been visible as debris. Your sensors probably wouldn't have picked them up.
Hmm. What location do you have them at?
Last known location was 82. Where was that location?
Here are the coordinates.
Yes, transferring them to you now.
Transmission received. Let me scan the area. Okay. Lieutenant Grax.
Yes.
So I assume you're at the station creating the sensor shadow?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so, yeah, so he's got that's odd. There does appear to be a shuttle there. Federation vessel Nomad, you are permitted to enter Orion space purely for rescue operations. I will forward this information up through my chain of command. You may proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the transmission cuts. Okay, so you guys want to proceed the rest of the way there?
Yep.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so you guys get there and you see. So as you're coming up, you come out of warp. The Captain Jenner gets up out of her seat as the planet comes on screen. It's a neon green with blue clouds. The system only has one star. The planet itself, you can see the visual sensors show a good handful of satellites orbiting the Earth or orbiting the planet, but they do appear to all be damaged on some level. It does not look like they've been used recently. Like they look like they've been in a stable orbit, but for a very, very long time.
Interesting.
And Captain Jenner gets up out of her seat and whispers the word Zakrael.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, what? Is my mic still
Captain?
working? Oh,
Captain?
okay.
Captain Jenner, are you all right?
Yes, Lieutenant. Why would I not be all right?
You just seemed a little bit out of it, sir.
I prefer ma'am, but thank you. It's just this is the culmination of my work. This beautiful planet. You have to forgive me for my state of awe.
So now that we're here, what can we do?
Are you at character or GM?
Character.
Well, we could send down probes to explore. We could check sensors for communications. This is a potential first contact situation. One we don't have to botch this time.
Are the Orions here yet?
We don't have a lot of time.
Indeed, and almost as if on cue, the Orion ship Solid Bet comes out of warp, just to on the screen, just to the left of the planet.
Hail them. If they've detected us, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they know you're there.
Hail them.
Yep. Comm channel comes on.
Captain Volkel, how nice of you to join us.
Yes. How did you beat me here?
Well, let's just say the cat has a knack for showing up in places where he's least expected. But I mean, you would know that, Vocal.
Indeed. And I see you brought along Captain Jenner, the heir apparent to the murderer.
You shouldn't blame people for the crimes of their fathers, Vocal. You should know better than that.
Indeed. She is the only one that is left for me to blame for my parents' death.
Well, then maybe we can help each other, Vocal. Maybe we can figure out what happened.
I doubt that, Lieutenant.
We're here.
And she cuts the signals, or she cuts the signal. The ensign at the operations station leans back. Sir, they're raising shields and targeting us.
Raise shields. Put weapons on standby.
And
yellow alert.
oh yeah,
Red alert.
Yellow, red alert.
red alert.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a red alert. It's that's not some weak vessel. I mean, they can do some damage.
Yeah, it is a ship that could do some damage.
Yeah, so red alert.
Yeah.
It's not like one of those TNG episodes where some ship is firing lasers, and
That was Voyager, wasn't it?
no, that was
No?
TNG,
Okay.
and like Riker's like, well, regulations do call for yellow alert. 'Cause it's like they can't even get past our navigational shields, our deflector shields, and like Picard's like, well, what should we do? And Riker's like, well, the regulations do call for yellow alert, and Picard's like, okay.
Okay. So yeah. So the red alert klaxons go off. The bridge goes dark and reglows the red pulse. And that is where we will fade to black. And